Up next on U.S. Bank Business Watch, presented by the Business Courier. When you want to build a better brand in Cincinnati, tapping former P&G employees seems to be the way to go. Get a look inside the huge new apartment building going up on Columbia Parkway in Delta. And ordering up a beer, the way you do a coffee. We'll take you to a new OTR brewery. U.S. Bank Business Watch is next. Good morning and welcome to U.S. Bank Business Watch. I'm Kelly Leon in for Peg Rasconi. In the Business Courier front page centerpiece this week, Procter & Gamble is all about brand. So when you're described by a former P&G president as one of the best brand builders P&G ever had, you have to feel pretty good about a new challenge that involves building a better brand. Meet Jenna Drosos, former president of Procter & Gamble's $6 billion global beauty care division. In that role, Drosos oversaw 6,000 employees and more than 20 brands such as Olay, CoverGirl, and Old Spice. Now retired from P&G in August, she became president of Assurex Health, which has 192 workers and just one brand, GeneSight. So what's the most valuable insight she brought from P&G?
Definitely the importance of teamwork. A diverse team focused on common goals and objectives always makes better decisions and delivers better results. And the great thing here is we have a tremendous team, smart, talented, savvy people who really know this business.
GeneSight analyzes a patient's DNA to reduce the trial and error often involved in determining the best treatment for depression, anxiety, ADHD, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, or chronic pain. When hired by Assurex CEO Jim Burns, Drosos said she was told, "Job one is educating and building awareness, getting the word out about the brand." Looks like they picked the right person to do that. You can read more about Drosos in this profile by Business Courier reporter Barrett Brunsman. Shriners Hospital for Children, Cincinnati, plans to launch its first ever advertising campaign to increase the number of patients it treats for everything from serious burns to dog bites and birth defects. Ads may appear by end of summer and will target public and medical professionals who can make referrals. The goal is to increase revenue as well as to identify more patients that could benefit from Shriners services. In January, Pamela Van Sant became the first new administrator of the hospital in 35 years.
We operated in the past more like a charity, and we were heavily supported by the Shriners organization, and now we need to operate more like a traditional hospital.
The Cincinnati facility draws patients from 26 states because it specializes in treating acute burns and scars. The ad campaign will highlight the other lesser-known services Shriners provides. We've told you about the local startup that helps motivate kids to do their chores. The mobile app Chore Monster uses cute and goofy monsters to help kids get the job done. So we all get the chore part, but what goes into making a monster?
There's always a little bit of absurdity and realism to it. Like, there's always something a little bit weird about them because they're monsters. So it'd be like their favorite donut has mayonnaise and mustard on it or something like that. Like, just like, what? Because kids find that funny and gross.
That is gross. Kids earn tickets for doing chores and taking those tickets to the in-app Monster Carnival, where they spin a wheel for a chance to win a monster. Monsters are randomly awarded, so the surprise and delight of winning them encourages the kids to keep doing their chores. Check out the whole process of creating monsters on the Business Courier website. Children were also the inspiration for Tawana and Brian Smith's business. They got the idea for Treasured Locks after struggling to find quality hair care products locally for their two daughters. The Westchester couple launched their company in 2002. Now, Treasured Locks offers close to 200 products on their website, including some of their own, which promote a more natural look.
Yeah, there's a huge trend right now for women to stop using the products, the chemically based products that have been damaging our hair for years. So we've chosen to go natural. I myself also went natural about 7 years ago. And that's one of my favorite things about the business right now is talking to people who are in the process of giving up the chemicals and finding good products that they can use for their hair.
Well, it turns out...
Co-owner and creator Brian Smith will be part of the Business Courier's Business Owner Insight panel on June 19th. Be sure to check the website for those details. As president and CEO of one of Greater Cincinnati's most iconic assets, Douglas McDonald's is on a perpetual quest for funding. McDonald has led Union Terminal, home to the Cincinnati Museum Center, since 1999.
Union Terminal is regarded nationally as being one of the most successful readaptive uses of a historic building. The building itself is known internationally for its Art Deco design style. And as every publication you look at internationally around architecture and design, Cincinnati Union Terminal will be featured in that for the unique Art Deco style as one of the great train stations in the world.
Union Terminal needs a major capital work, roughly $180 million as of the beginning of 2013. A task force led by former P&G CEO Bob McDonald is working to come up with a list of how to pay for must-do repairs to both Union Terminal and Music Hall. The expectation is that the committee will ask local governments to chip in, which likely will require a tax increase vote. In this week's print edition, McDonald shared his thoughts on the work of the task force and the future of Union Terminal. Well, Delta Flats is the latest addition to Greater Cincinnati's growing apartment scene. Town Properties' $9 million 76-unit luxury apartment development is located at Columbia Parkway and Delta Avenue. A unit for visitors to tour is expected to be ready in May, but the Business Courier got a sneak peek last week.
Definitely the location is attractive because it has so many walkable services near it, and of course it's in a neighborhood that is vibrant, so that all adds to it.
Delta Flats was designed with young professionals and graduate students in mind. Outdoor amenities, including a saltwater pool and outdoor grilling and patio area, will be ready in July. We're told demand for the apartments at Delta Flats is much higher than anticipated, with 200 names already on a reservation list. Well, brand strategy firm Madison Design works with some of the biggest companies in Greater Cincinnati, and now it has a big open space to match its ideas. The Covington Company recently renovated its 6,000 square foot office space over 2 floors to better accommodate its needs. It changed 515 Madison Avenue from a turn-of-the-century building created for luxury apartments into a more flexible and collaborative work environment.
Well, before we started, everyone gave us all the warnings and the doom and the gloom, and you know, frankly, they were all right. So it took a lot of planning. We bought the building probably 2 or 3 years ago, spent about a year working with a local architect and developing the plan and the design.
Roberto says it took another year to renovate the space. During renovation, 15 staff members were crammed into a space designed for 4 people. But she says this beautiful space is the reward. A new over-the-Rhine craft beer concept that bills itself as a cafe for beer lovers is now open. Half Cut is named for the 1920s slang term meaning the state of mind after a few beers. It's been a nearly 2-year journey for founders Jack Heekin and Tom O'Brien.
And this particular location on 12th and Walnut is on kind of the corridor between Main Street and Vine Street. Main Street's kind of like a big drinking street, late night, a lot of bars, a really good music scene. And then right down the way is Vine Street, which is a really good restaurant scene, kind of higher end. So we kind of wanted to be in the middle of that.
There'll be different beers pretty much every day that you come in here on draft. In the bottle selection, that will be very similar also. We'll be rotating in and out, but some of them will be staples.
Unlike traditional bars where patrons crowd around the counter vying for a bartender's attention, Half Cut will have people queue up like they would in a coffee shop. A guide, or barista, will talk to customers about what kind of flavors and styles they've had before, what they like, what they're looking for, and possibilities for pairing with food. Those guys operated the pedal wagon, and we've had them on a couple times, so good for them. Up next on U.S. Bank Business Watch, the crane is back at the Kenwood Collection construction site. And a front row seat as a major motion picture shoots right outside the Courier's window. Welcome back to U.S. Bank Business Watch. Some news you may have missed if you are not reading the Business Courier online every day or following on Twitter and Facebook. A construction crane is going back up at Kenwood Collection, the mixed-use project formerly known as Kenwood Town Place. Cincinnati-based Messer Construction will use a tower crane to complete the work on the project's office tower, which is expected to open in the fall of 2015. Starting in 2007, the project sat unfinished for 5 years after contractors walked off the job because of unpaid bills. Located next to Kenwood Town Center, Kenwood Collection will include upscale retail and Class A office space. Cincinnati Children's Hospital Medical Center has been recognized as one of the top 10 health systems in the nation for workplace diversity. Diversity Inc., a web-based publisher in Princeton, New Jersey, ranked health systems on factors such as talent development, leadership commitment, and supplier diversity. Selections were based on a 300-question survey filled out by hospitals with at least 1,000 workers. Diversity Inc. noted that Children's CEO Michael Fisher personally signs off on compensation tied to diversity and meets regularly with the hospital's 9 resource groups. If you're looking for long-term job security in Ohio, check out the insurance business. Ohio will need 26,000 skilled workers by 2020, according to a new study conducted for the Insurance Industry Resource Council. The group of 13 Ohio-based insurers, including a pair from Cincinnati, worked with a group called Regionomics to look into the industry's future employment needs. The results were announced at the University of Cincinnati as part of an event put on by Insuring Ohio Futures. That's an initiative the Insurance Council has launched to educate and attract students and others to job opportunities in the insurance industry. U.S. Airways and Delta Airlines are adding flights at Cincinnati Northern Kentucky International Airport during peak seasons. U.S. Air will add another daily nonstop flight to Charlotte starting this summer, while Delta will offer daily flights to Cancun during the holidays. The new flight to Charlotte will be available July 2nd to August 18th. The daily flight to Cancun will be added December 1st to January 18th. Delta currently offers one nonstop flight to Cancun on Saturday. Well, take a look outside the Business Courier offices last week where the movie Carol was shooting. Business Courier staffers got some great close-up shots of Cate Blanchett, Rooney Mara, and the other stars right outside their window. To get a close-up look at the Ray Street movie set, be sure to visit the Business Courier website. The photos are great. You really do not want to miss them. Well, compared with the recent past, things are pretty quiet right now from the standpoint of Washington, D.C. and the capital markets. No budget showdowns, no fiscal cliffs, and no major sources of disruption. So far, at least. But history indicates we can't let our guard down. Our very own Jim Russell, U.S. Bank Wealth Management Senior Equity Strategist, joins Business Courier publisher Jamie Smith in the studio with his perspective on what we need to watch for in the months ahead. Jim and Jamie?
Thanks, Kelly. Jim, I'm honored to be here with you today.
Jamie, good to see you.
So as Kelly said, it seems like it's been kind of quiet in Washington. Do you think those disruptions are a thing of the past, or should we be on the lookout?
Well, certainly relative to 2013, it has been a quiet spring so far. No fiscal cliffs, as Kelly mentioned, no government shutdowns. In fact, I think that most politicians are a little bit busy, frankly, running for primaries and maybe re-election. As everybody knows, November is going to be a mid-year election year this year, and that usually does have economic and market implications. Now, you know, a couple things that we can maybe look for is that legislatively anyway, we think that 2014 will be a slow period in terms of actual legislation coming out of Congress. Yeah, the couple of key growth initiatives are on hold. One that the right likes, and that is the Keystone Pipeline. One the left likes, the immigration reform. Both of those are great ideas. Both of them are key growth initiatives on hold because of politics and, again, because of re-election. 70% of the primaries are over by July 4th, so the heavy-duty stuff really starts this summer.
What is that mid-year election year? Is there a lot of links between that and stock market?
You know, you wouldn't think so, but there is. You know, legislation is very dependent upon who is in Congress. Congressional composition is a pretty neat thing in terms of it guides the type of legislation that's passed and the amount. So frankly, the markets get a bit nervous on who is going to be in Congress and what that shape and composition looks like. So normally during the second quarter, the quarter we're in now, the markets get a little bit volatile, and what you'll see here is really some market data going back a little while about the average returns of the stock market in a midterm election year. Again, that's the type of year we're in right now. A very soft second quarter, a soft third quarter with the market rallying right ahead of the election. So the volatility can be pretty severe around that
ups and downs.
Lots of ups and downs, in fact, right.
Well, I'm sure you'll keep us informed, and you'll be back on here to tell us again what to expect as we get closer to the third quarter, fourth quarter?
I think so, yeah. You know, in fact, in terms of exactly what that volatility is like, Jamie, usually the markets are down on average 18%, which is a pretty stiff correction right around the midterm elections. And in terms of the rebound, usually get a pretty nice rebound. Looks like about 32%. Frankly, if you take the market and you go down 18 and you're up 32, that's a net 8. That's the way the math works. But again, additional volatility for the period ahead.
Well, if we could just see that volatility in gas prices going down, right?
I understand.
All right, Jim. Thanks for being here, and again, we'll hear from you again soon.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. Kelly?
Thanks, guys. And thanks, Jim. Thank you, and U.S. Bank, for all you do for the program. Still to come on U.S. Bank Business Watch, an organization that helps ensure Cincinnati's fun factor celebrates a very successful campaign. In this morning's Business Insight, ArtsWave surpassed its $12 million goal for the 2014 annual community campaign, keeping its place as the largest community campaign for the arts in the country by total contributions and number of donors. ArtsWave brought in $12,015,031 from across the region. The majority of the contributions to ArtsWave are given by individuals in amounts less than $150. The most common donation is $75. This year's campaign was the last for ArtsWave CEO Mary McCullough Hudson, who will retire in August. The campaign has doubled during her 20-year tenure. We are honored to have Mary McCullough Hudson with us this morning. She joins Business Courier publisher Jamie Smith in the studio. Mary and Jamie?
Thanks, Kelly. Mary, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
First off, congratulations for a successful campaign, but more importantly, congratulations for a successful career. 20 years as CEO, 35 years with the organization. That's incredible.
Well, it's a long tenure, but it has been the second love of my life. My husband will be watching. But it's been a true joy, and it's, I always think of this as the ultimate team sport. And so there are a lot of people that are involved in the campaign, and over the years I've had the pleasure of working with some of this community's most inspirational leaders.
Yeah, that's great. Now, 2009, 2010 brought a lot of uncertainty to nonprofits, capital campaigns. How's ArtsWave continue to grow your donor base and the donations?
Well, I have to admit, we took a little bit of a hit when the recession arrived, but I have to say that I think we were positioned well, as were our arts partners going into this, because of the breadth of the support we have. We weren't dependent on just one or two key industries. We weren't dependent on a handful of foundations who saw their portfolios drop so dramatically. This is really a campaign of the people, for the people, by the people. And so as long as we had people, which we continue to have, we had great support. And the arts organizations went into the recession really fiscally sound and strong. And I think it's important to know that when the economy softens, all the cracks show. And in our case and in some other communities, they weren't as fortunate. But not only, I think, were we fiscally sound, but our organizations have always been very focused on innovation, on adapting to the new environment, and to making sure that they stay relevant. And I think all that helped us weather the storm.
Well, talk a little bit about how ArtsWave is really looking into employee engagement. You know, I know recently the Cincinnati Sings. Talk a little about this.
Wasn't that amazing?
That was great.
Extraordinary. One of the things that we found in the campaign, so much of our campaign comes from workplace giving programs. And over the years, we have found those to be a great tool for our corporate partners to really engage their employees, not just in fundraising, but really in participating in the arts. And two that stood out were P&G and Cincinnati Children's in fostering a collaboration around a competition with singing. And Melanie Healy, who is the incredible who runs P&G North America, was our campaign chair this year, and she had seen how well it worked at P&G to really generate enthusiasm and engagement and excitement and helping people connect across divisions in the community, in the company. Well, let's take this community-wide. And so that was the idea behind it. And we had 10 companies participate. They had choir competitions within their company. The winners came to the citywide competition on April 9th, and it really was a manifestation of a lot of our goals about how the arts create energy and excitement and bring people together in a way that really fosters new relationships. So
we expect to see that back again next year?
I think you will definitely see that back, yeah.
Good. Well, I know you've got a great organization, you've got a lot of great people on your team, a lot of great volunteers, but I know they're going to miss you terribly. I mean, you can't replace experience and passion the way you have.
That's kind, but I have to tell you that following right behind me is Alicia Kintner, who is bringing already great new ideas, great new energy, so no one will miss a beat.
Well, thank you so much for being here, and congratulations
Thanks,
again.
Thank you.
Kelly, back to you.
Thank you, Jamie and Mary. And thanks all of you for joining us this morning for U.S. Bank Business Watch. We'll be back next Sunday and every Sunday morning at 6:30 here on Local 12 and 10 a.m. on the CW. For more business news all week long, visit the Business Courier online and sign up for daily emails and follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Our address is cincinnatibusinesscourier.com. I'm Kelly Leon in for Peg Rasconi. Have a great Sunday.